Hello guys, welcome to Ramta Solutions and welcome to your grade 10 probability. Today in our fourth video, we are looking at union and intersection. So when we talk of a union between two sets or a union of two sets, we are basically saying we're talking about a set that contains all of the elements that are in at least one of the two sets. Okay, so what we are basically trying to say here is that for a union, it will contain all elements that are in each and every of the two events that you're comparing. Okay, so we represent it with the symbol union. Otherwise, we call it a cup, right? We call it a cup, right? You will see a cup, or you will see the width or the word or. Okay, this is how it is represented. It is represented with a cup or the word or. So a union of two events is rather represented by, for example, A union B or cup B or A. Okay, all of these are how we represent them. Okay, let me put them in quotation marks. Okay, let me put them in quotation marks so I can differentiate between these all. Okay, so this is how we represent a union. Okay, you're going to see examples shortly. Now, with intersection, with an intersection of two sets, it is basically what it does is that this is now a set that contains all elements that are in both sets. Remember, they must be in both sets. So whichever element that you that will be into your intersection, it will be those that are shared. So this basically include the shared elements. Okay, so it is represented with a cap. Okay, it is represented with a cap, or use this word and. Okay, it's represented with a cap, or we use this word and. Okay, right. So how we use it like this. We say it's A and B, or we say A and B like this. Let me put them in quotation marks. Okay, so I separate them from all. Okay, so this is how you separate this is how you represent your intersection. Remember, with an intersection, it must be, let me highlight this, with an intersection, it must be in both sets, right? In both sets. Okay, and then with a union, in at least one of the two sets. Okay, in at least one of the two sets. Okay, now we are going to do an example. So let me show you. So with our example, I will say, let me use a black color. So two friends. Okay, I'll stick to blue. I think it's fine. So two friends. So two friends, let's call them Anati and Tiamo, play a game of 20. Okay, play a game of 20. Anati chooses factors of 20. Chooses factors of 20, and Tiamo chooses multiples of 5. Chooses multiples of 5. Okay. Now, first question, list factors of 20. List factors of 20. That's 1.1. 1.2, I'm going to say list multiples of 5. And then what do I say? And then and then write down, and then I'm going to say write down 2.1, write down a set of A or B. Let me go to this next page, and here 2.2, set of A and B. Number 3, calculate the probability. Calculate the probability of 3.1. Okay, calculate, let me not say the, let me say this. Calculate the 3.1 probability of A, or let me not say, okay, for here, I'm going to say, Anati's choice, call it A. Okay, Tiamo's choice, call it B. Okay, Tiamo's choice, call it B. Okay, Tiamo's choice, call it B. Okay, let me expand, let me fix that. Now, calculate the probability of A, which is the probability that this is a factor of 20. 3.2, probability of B, which means product of multiple of 5. 3.3, probability of A or B. What do we mean? We mean probability that it's a factor of 20, or it's a factor of 20 or multiple of 5. All right. 3.4, probability that it's a factor of 20 and multiple of 5. Okay. Now let's get our solutions. Let's go back. All right. We are good to go. Now let's get our solutions. So for our solutions, you are aware that our sample space will be numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And so on until, let me say, 18, 19, 20. So this is our sample space. Remember, they are choosing from 20. The game is called Choose from 20, isn't it? All right. It's a game of 20. So you are choosing from 20. Okay. So you're choosing, yes, you're choosing numbers from 1 to 20. Okay. Cool. Now, I know this is information that I didn't really specify here, but now that I'm showing you the answers, let it be that I'm specifying it. Okay. So we're going to call it, it's basically whole numbers from 20. Is that okay? Okay. Perfect. Now, as we move on, let's see what do we do. We will say, now we are done. Our sample space, how many do we have here? We have 20 elements in total. All right. We have 20 elements in total, isn't it? Good. All right. So by the way, this is your, I shouldn't say this is our number of, total number of outcomes. It is just the sample space. And let me fix this. Now, having said this, we can see now our sample space is 20. All right. Now, 3.1.1, what does it say? 1.1 says at least the factors of 20. Okay, cool. So we need to find that set. Remember, we called it A. So what is it? It is 1, 2, 3, no, 4, yes, 5, yes, 6, no, 10, yes, and 20. Isn't it? Perfect. 1.2, we're looking for the product of 5. What are they? 5 times 1 is 10, is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20. This is it. All right. Now let's go to, let's see what's the next question. Write down the set of A or B. Ooh, nice. 1.3, A or B. What is it? Remember, guys, A is 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20. Or what is B? B is 5, 10, 15, 20. Now, remember the definition. When you say or, it will include, remember that it will include at least one of the two elements. So that means it must be taking all elements that are in both events. So in other words, A or B will be 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 15, and 20. Okay, remember, let's go back. It contains all elements that are in at least one of the two sets. Okay, that are at least in one of the two sets. Okay, so 1 is in A, 2 is in A, 4 is in A, 5 is in both, so we can take it. 10 is in A only, 10 is in A and B. 15 is in B only, 20 is in both. So this is how we do it. Okay. My numbering, it was 2.1. Then we're gonna get the set of A and B. We're gonna get the set of A and B. So for A and B, we're gonna say A and B. So what is A and B? A and B is again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 10, 20. Alright? And what? And 5, 10, 15, 20. Now remember, and is all elements that are in both sets. Which elements are in both sets? 1, 2, 3, 4, but 5, yes. What about 10? Yes. What about 15? 20? Right? So remember, guys, what we're doing here is just when you are now comfortable with this topic, you will not necessarily need to be doing this. But I advise that you do this. Okay, especially when you're giving elements like, okay. Now, what is the next question? Oh, we must calculate the probabilities now. 3.1, we're looking for the probability of A. Probability of A is the number of outcomes of A over the sample space. So let's go back to check how many elements do we have for A. For A, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this will be 6 over 20. What is this? This is 3 over 10. We are good to go. Now 3.2 must be asking us for the probability of B. Right? Remember, B is factors of 5. Right? Factors of 5. If my memory serves me well, it'll be 4 over 20. This is 1 over 5. Let me go confirm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah. Happy? Great. So you see, this is how you do it, guys. Now, 3.3, probability of A or B. Probability of A or B is number of outcomes of A or B all over sample space. Let's go back. How many elements? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So what is it? It is 7 over 20. We will leave it here. We cannot simplify it in any other way. 3.4. 3.4. What is the probability of A and B? Again, probability of A and B. Probability of A and B is the number of outcomes of A and B all over sample space. What is this? This is, let's go check, 1, 2, 3. So it's 3 times 3 elements over 20. Then we are done. Okay. This is how we treat unions and intersection. Remember, the key word is to remember that with a union, it contains elements that are in at least one of the two sets. With an intersection, it contains elements that are in both sets. Remember, they must be in both sets. Let's go back to check. They must be in both sets. As you can see, in both sets, we have 5, 10, and 20. That's an intersection. So for a union, it must contain elements that are in at least one of the two sets. So in other words, that would mean a union will take all of the elements of the events involved. Okay? All right. So with that being said, our spent here, and if you would like to get in touch with us, please visit our website www.ramtasolutions.co.za. And of course, you can follow us on your favorite social media platform. And for sure you are watching this video on YouTube, remember to subscribe and share, like, and share with your friends and anyone who might be in need of such lessons. And of course, if you are looking for a tutor, you can contact us on WhatsApp or you can send us an email. Please specify what exactly you are looking for, including your grade and stuff. What do you want to achieve eventually? We need to understand where you are so we make proper planning for your sessions with us, okay? So, with that being said, we end it here and we say thank you. Bye-bye.